are starting. So,
Well, am I the oldest person you know? Is that why you asked me?
Yeah, well, I did my papa before, and I think he's in his 70s, so. Can you recall anything from, well, that's supposed to say World War II on the list? Like, any...
Definitely. I remember the day the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, very specifically.
What do you, like, remember from it that, like, sticks out?
Well, my father was sitting we had a dining area, like, off the kitchen with those glass doors or covers, and he was sitting there listening to this little radio in the corner, and he said, oh, he exploded. He said, the Japanese just bombed our boat in Pearl Harbor. But that left a great impression on me.
Why did it leave like such a big impression?
Well, because they killed all those boys were killed on the Arizona, that boat that they blew up. And I went to Hawaii. I went there to see it. It was really probably one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
Wow. Do you remember like anything about like when they did the Japanese entertainment camps, like where they like
internment camps?
Yeah, that there we go.
I remember that they all the Japanese people that were in this country at the time, I think I'm correct.
Yeah.
They put them, they couldn't do what they want to anymore but they had no part in this thing that was going on over there. Yeah, I remember that too.
Do you remember like seeing any posters from it, or like just like any like posters like promoting the war, or like anything you had to do specifically for the war, like rationing and stuff like that?
Oh, I definitely remember that. We couldn't get a lot of sugar, and to this day I hate margarine because you couldn't get butter, and they had this white stuff. And you had to put this food coloring in it and mix it up.
Wow.
Definitely, and gas and nylons. Well, I don't think we had them then anyway. Yeah, I definitely remember rationing. Cool. We had a big family. You had to go bring coupons to get so many points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember like how you felt when they dropped the bombs on Japan? Like, did you think it was a good idea?
Yes, definitely. I think that the United States they're not going to let them kill 3,000 of our soldiers. I think that's a round number, in a boat and do nothing. Yes, I did.
Anything else?
I was very young then, don't forget. I graduated in 16. When I was 16 and in 44, that was the year this whole thing was going on.
Is there anything else from the war that really like stuck out to you that was good, bad?
Well, there were a lot of jobs perked up from factories right when that was going on.
Did you notice like women having more jobs? And
a lot of the women went to work in factories. Yes, they did, making things for the war. Which was unusual because women didn't go to work in those days. They stayed home and took care of their families, not like today.
Yeah. Did you know anyone that like went out to work, or was anyone like, did you go out to work then?
I was in school.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I worked for my senior year. I worked in town for a lady that had a family. She had 3 kids, and she went to work in the woolen mill. We had a woolen mill in Clinton where I went to school. Yeah, she worked nights over there, and so I took care of her children, helped make meals, and I remember ironing these little puff sleeves. In fact, I learned my speech for graduation while I was ironing. I remember that definitely.
Cool. What did you do a speech for in graduation? Were you like valedictorian or just everyone?
Salutatorian.
Oh, cool.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing. There was either 1 or 2 boys in our class that graduated because the minute this war happened, they all went and enlisted.
Did they want to enlist, or were they drafted?
They wanted to. No, they did.
Cool.
There's a big difference, I think. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this stuff or not, but in our country today about kids wanting, a lot of them don't believe in, who wants wars? Nobody does, but you can't let things happen like when they blew up the buildings in New York.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to let them get by with that. I mean, my husband was very patriotic, you know, and he would have gone to war in a minute. He
And
did, he enlisted.
was he a Marine?
Dick in the
Yeah,
Navy.
Navy. And he went over into like Europe, right?
He was in Morocco. He was stationed in Morocco for a lot of, he went to work in Washington, D.C. because he was,
Can't say it or he'll kill us, right? Or he'll.
he,
Decoded stuff, right?
he decoded messages. I just found out from what country when he was ready to die. Yeah, that's what he did. And
Cool.
so they had to come up and investigate him, the FBI up there where he lived. And he worked in Washington for a while. And then he went to Morocco and he was stationed there most of his enlistment.
Holy crap. I'll have to do another recording because it says I only have like 1 minute left.
Huh?
Alright, let's move on. Do you remember anything like from the 50s that really stuck out? Like any changes from after the war? Like this is kind of like a baby booming time, I guess you could say.
Yeah, my children were all born in the 50s. Well, yeah, they were.
That's cool.
But after the war was ended, the soldiers and the servicemen that came back had a difficult job getting. There were no jobs available either. Dick went to work he worked for Laverdius drugstore.
Oh, that's cool.
And no, he first worked in a factory in Connecticut that they made. And then when he came back to Waterloo, he worked in Laverdius drugstore. Then he was a store manager at Montgomery Ward's. And that's how he got down in New Jersey. He got transferred down there.
Alright, I'm just gonna stop.